When you put this button on, it says, I'm proud to be an Herbalife distributor, and I'm proud of these products, and I'm proud of this company.
I really was trying very hard in the beginning. A lot of people laughed at me when I got started. They couldn't visualize what the labels were like, but I saw what the vision was. They just thought it was a stupid idea, that I was never going to be able to make it.
Jerry's truly the queen of Herbalife. You know, she was the first one that really believed in me.
The first rule here is talking to 10 people a day.
I can't believe what's happened with all of this in the last 4 years.
They should have been brought to this hearing instead of the so-called expert weight loss people that were here yesterday. If they're so expert in weight loss, why were they so fat yesterday? And I'm not trying to make any jokes, but I do think that they ought to use our product.
What I see is what's coming up next and what's coming in the future. You know, I mean, I see it through a different set of eyes.
First two people that have made it to the Chairman's Club, Jerry Svetanovich and Carol and Alan Lorenz.
We're going to have products that are going to knock your socks off.
The entire nutrition industry is growing. The market is ready for cellular nutrition.
All you got to do is take one of these, 3 of those, twice a day, and you lose weight like crazy.
This production bonus that we're paying out here tonight, first of all, is the largest single bonus that the company has ever paid out in its history.
From the trunk of Mark's car, his first customers, his family members, to where we are today, Mark had a dream that there would be a canister in every home. Now, have you had your shake today starts in every home. That's the opportunity. The healthy, active lifestyle isn't just a way to bring us together, it's a way to improve people's lives.
Grit is that person who's resilient, that understands there's going to be peaks and valleys in life.
This company has gone through so many changes and so much evolution since Mark founded it in 1980. The Varellas and their compatriots in Mexico created a club model, the Nutrition Club. We're looking at a whole new way of approaching BizWorks, but it is a great tool.
Bill Ackman delivering what was promised to be the death blow to Herbalife.
They try to come after our products. They couldn't. You sent that billionaire brat home where he belonged, with his tail between his legs.
It's building an Herbalife legacy. And that's what our business opportunities should be thought about every single day. What is the legacy that you're building? Mark, original distributor, CEO. Michael, caretaker for a while, 22 years of doing things that hopefully brought success to you and growth. I'm excited to launch to you your new brand. As a leader, you have to transform. You have to lead where the market is.
We're building on a powerful 45-year history. We are the world's #1 weight management and well-being brand. We are the world's #1 healthy, active lifestyle nutrition brand. We're the world's #1 weight loss supplements. We're the home to the world's #1 protein shake. We've helped tens of millions of distributors and customers through our products and our business opportunity. Through the Herbalife Family Foundation, we've supported more than 200,000 children around the world. That's our legacy. But the future in front of us is even bigger. We have the best distributors and the biggest network on the planet, and we're becoming the world's premier health and wellness company, community, and platform. More connected, more innovative, more impactful. This is our moment. This is our future, and we're just getting started.
Please welcome our CEO, Stephan Gratziani!
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Your company. By the way, how many of you are incredibly proud right now when you think of the history of Herbalife and where we are today, and especially where we're going to go in the future? Yeah? So I am still getting used to, after 32 and a half years of being a distributor, being used to a corporate executive. It's a little bit of a different life than sitting at the tables here with my dear friends and colleagues that for many years as Founder Circles, we sat together and I watched the keynotes that happened for years and years and years and years. Never could I have imagined, even as a Founder Circle, that I would actually be on stage giving the keynote. So someone asked me, do you ever get nervous? And I'm like, I've been doing this for 30 years, from HOMs to STSs to speaking at events. But I got to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous still because it's only been first year actually, as a keynote in front of all of you. And this is still a new thing for me. So a little bit of grace for me, if you don't mind. Just a little bit of nerves. What you see behind me is the history of Herbalife. And if you think of 1980 and where it started, and all of the things that Herbalife has been through, and you look at the 45 years, and yes, John Tartle, $8.6 billion in sales last year in suggested retail sales. But if you look at the history, and hopefully the video gave you an idea in a very short form of what Herbalife has evolved into and how great our company has become. And so when you look, yes, in the 80s, what happened, and you look at the growth trajectory, and then you think about us being attacked and Mark Hughes. And by the way, how many of you love that clip? If they're such experts, then why are they so fat? I mean, you can't get a better soundbite than that. But yes, Herbalife has gone through different moments in time. And yes, after the attack, and after Mark had to put his money into the company to keep the company going, and after all of the distributors in the United States had experienced so much success, such an incredible rise, so much business, and then went through the period, you can imagine, from the mid-'80s until really the early '90s, do you think it took a little bit of belief and faith in the United States at that time, Jerry, to continue to go out and to work and to build after what had happened? There's no question. But Herbalife also, our legacy is no matter what happens, because of the distributors, because of the company, because of the vision, because of the mission, because of the dream, because of our legacy, it is to continue and to grow. It is to find the solutions. It is to innovate. It is to bring forward new opportunities. And at that time, one of the things that the company did was start to expand internationally. And if you think, if Mark didn't have the vision
of taking it person by person, city by city, country by country, around the entire world. If he didn't have that vision, what if international business, because he didn't have the vision, never happened? What if it was just North America where the business stayed? What would the future look like? But Mark had the vision. Do you think that he knew how to open 20 countries and 30 countries and 40 countries and 50 countries? Or do you think that he had to build the team, learn what it took, expand his mind, expand how he saw what was possible, and do it anyway? And he did it. And because he did it, look what happened to the company. The company started to grow. And by the way, you see all the way to 1995, $924 million in suggested retail. He was always talking the $1 billion. It was always the billion. By the way, and then it was the 5. Okay, well, it's like 2 for a minute, but then it was like 5. But we switched to the billions of dollars. And if you look at it and you just watch the growth through 2000, right? Or actually, if you look at the growth that happened through 1997, then there was like a period. You see the orange line where things kind of flattened out? And what had happened is the company had opened 50 markets, really in the first, period of time, 20 years, okay? And the way that we were working at the time really was kind of very, very simple. Use where talk, meetings, inviting people. And we were very good at the time at bringing new people to the business, but we weren't so good, and especially for the business opportunity, but we weren't so good at actually having a lot of great ways to bring customers and to keep customers and to build really a foundation that was stronger. And then there started to be a focus on how could we go out and get more customers and bring them and keep them. And we created this opportunity after we had opened a lot of markets to start a new growth wave. And it's really interesting because if you think of the things that kind of innovated in the company, by the way, one of them was 246. You have to imagine a time, every one of you, imagine in this room, if your production bonus didn't exist, that there was no 246, that the only money that you made was really just your royalty check. Just take your production bonus and just think it never existed. Mark never came up with the idea, they never was implemented, and the 246 never got introduced. Would Herbalife look like it does today if that innovation didn't come? No way. And by the way, we're not going to take away the 246, right? But I want you to visualize if it didn't exist, the 246, what life would look like. So all of these innovations, by the way, there was a time when we started to have that situation, and then there started to be something that came out of Mexico, Enrique and Chela, this idea of nutrition clubs, because the only thing that we had ever done as a company was sell programs to people. And when Chela and Enrique came up with this idea to actually have not just selling programs to people, but to actually sell a single day, a shake, a tea, an aloe, so someone could break up a program if they couldn't afford it, and they could actually have a shake a day. And at the time, what happened was the idea was so radical because it had never been done that a lot of people didn't like the idea because it was so different. We've been selling programs, now you want us to sell a shake a day? That's a radical idea. And guess what? When they came up with this idea of nutrition clubs, a lot of people said, that's not Herbalife. That is not Herbalife. We've been doing Herbalife this way. That is not Herbalife. But Michael Johnson at the time had the vision enough to know, and because of understanding, if you could get more people on the products, that it could lead to a better business, Michael, because of the vision and because of the principles and what he stood for, said, you know what? It may be different, it may be new, but it's a good thing. And instead of just making a decision because some people and the majority of people in the country didn't like it, he said, you know what? Herbalife, we have an entrepreneurial spirit. If you find a way of doing the good, even if it's different, then you should have the right to do it. And so I want you to imagine that Nutrition Clubs was a big fundamental shift for us. By the way, how many in the room here you operate or you have Nutrition Clubs in your business? Raise your hand. Now let me ask you the question. What if Michael Johnson would have said, no Nutrition Clubs? The only thing we're ever going to do in Herbalife is sell the products in programs, and you can never break up the programs and sell a single shake. Would Herbalife have the growth that we have today? Would we be the company that we are today? And the answer is no. And so what's important to understand about our legacy and about who we are is that we are innovative, that we always have a forward vision, that we have a willingness to change, that it is something that is part of our DNA. And so if you go back to the screen, you'll look at these different periods of time. Nutrition Clubs, over 60,000 of them around the world now. If we can have it back up, please. Look at the growth that we had. 2000s. And then guess what happened in 2012? There was this guy that looked at Herbalife and said, Herbalife, it's not a real business. Now imagine, Herbalife, you don't have any customers. Herbalife, you just bring people into the business. By the way, look at the history. These are billions of dollars, by the way. And yet someone had no idea, no clue, lost $1 billion, by the way, speaking of billions of dollars, betting against us because he really didn't understand who we were or what we do. And so when that happened, big distraction, right? A lot of efforts, a lot of time, and there was a little bit of a period. But you know what happened? And especially in the United States, where it was all happening, it was the epicenter of what was going on. It didn't stop the distributors. They could say what they wanted to in Wall Street. And the papers could say, but it didn't change Main Street. It didn't change the fact that the distributors went to work every single day. The distributors found the way to build the business, even when there were, documented volume and all of these things that were really just for Herbalife that were unfair and put really more complication into doing the business. The distributors in the United States found the way, did the work, made the changes, and created an incredible growth business. So number one, congratulations, because no one experienced it the way that the US distributors experienced it. That is the grit. That is the entrepreneurial spirit. That is the legacy of Herbalife. That is who we are, is to figure out the solutions and to do the work and to, no matter what, continue to grow and continue to build on the mission and the vision that started in 1980. So yes, a little bit of time where there was a little bit of a, focus and a little bit of an impact. Third orange line. What's really interesting is if you look at, there's 2 years that kind of stand out on the slides, 2020 and 2021. What happened during those 2 years? COVID. And like a lot of businesses, because everyone was at home, everyone was worried about their health, a lot of people had money that was given to them by the governments. And so what happened was that there was this expansion of business in a lot of markets, but it wasn't a natural growing business. It was like an artificial balloon of business. And if you look at the history of Herbalife and you actually take out 2020 and 2021, which is the inflated part during those years, and you look at the growth trajectory, you can almost see that more or less Herbalife has continued to grow over time, minus 2 years. But at the same time, if you look at 2022, 8.8, 8.6, 8.5, 8.6. What are you starting to see? Are you starting to see a little bit of a flat? A little bit of something needs to happen so we can create the next growth trajectory? Like if you had to look at Herbalife and you had to say, this is our legacy, this is how we work, this is what happens to us. We grow and then something happens and then we look for the next answer of how we are going to continue to grow. What would you say if you looked at it? Are we at a period right now where we are probably ready, probably looking for the solutions to create the next path of growth? Would you say that? Yeah. Now, here's what I would also say, is I would say I would never bet against Herbalife. I don't think, if you look at 45 years, that you would make a bet against us. I wouldn't bet because you don't want to be on the bad side of that bet. The question is going to be, what's next? And so let's go to what is next for us. You've all seen it. We have a vision. And that vision is to become the world's premier health and wellness company, community, and platform. Now, thank you, Cindy. We'll take the clap. But what does it mean exactly? I mean, we already, and by the way, when I joined Herbalife in 1991, it was already an amazing platform for health and wellness. It was an opportunity for anybody to come into the company and actually start using products and change their health and their well-being. It was already the platform in 1991. It was already that in 1980. It's always been that for people. It was also a platform for anybody to find an opportunity and to be willing to invest into their business to grow an income. It's always been an amazing platform. For us, the fact that we're saying to become the premier, meaning really the best company in health and wellness, community, which we already are, platform, which yes, I know it feels kind of more technological and more digital to be a platform, but I want you to understand this is not a big change from who we are. This is just the natural evolution of who we become. And so I want to really talk about the fundamentals that brought us where we are. Because last year at this same event, we made some pretty big announcements. We announced some acquisitions. We announced some technology. We announced a new way of looking at personally formulated nutrition. And it feels like a lot of changes. It feels like changes of going through selling programs to selling single. Like it's a change, it's a shift. Not all of our products are personally formulated, right? Now, if we go to personally formulated, that feels different. Now, technology, has it always been our strength, technology? You can be honest, I was a distributor, okay? Now I'm on the other side, and I know what we are responsible for as a company, but technology hasn't always been our strength, okay? There's work that we need to do there, but there are 4 things that fundamentally we've been doing as a company since 1980. And so I want to put these 4 things up there because although we're going to talk technology, although we're going to talk, testing, although we're going to talk, changes and personally formulated and these new things, you have to understand it's not different, it's an evolution. Because since 1980, the company, distributors, what we've been doing fundamentally is really these 4 things. So what to measure, and we're going to go into it, right? What to take, what to do, and then who to do it with, which has always been the distributors, obviously. In history, we've always done these things. In the future, the way we're going to do them and the kinds of things that we're going to do may be a little different, but I want to show you through time that what we're doing now and what we're becoming is really just built on the foundation of what we've always done. And so if you go to what to measure, Now, today, we're talking about measuring and inputs, but I want you to imagine in 1980, right? And I wasn't there, but some of my colleagues and friends were there, okay? And probably 1991, it was pretty much the same thing. But when you would talk to someone about getting results, what were the measurements you took from them? Well, you had them give me your weight. Now, by the way, I used to go with a weight scale, and I used to go with a tape measure, and every customer that I talked to, what would I do? Let's take your measurements. Get on the scale. Great. All right? Some of them didn't want to get on the scale. Okay, you write down your measurements, right? The ones that would, we would take the tape measure, waist, hips, thighs, arms sometimes. How many of you remember that? Do you remember doing that? Okay. So the what to measure in 1980 was different than what we measure today, right? But the what to measure was always a part of it. Okay, since the day one, what to measure was a part of it. But through time, the what to measure changed. Fat calipers, and then technology changed. By the way, I think ShapeWorks, how many of you remember this? Like actually measuring your body and knowing, what and how much protein you should take. If you think about the what to measure's always been there. We've always been doing the what to measure. Now, DNA, gene start in Korea, which goes back, more than 10 years ago. The what to measure DNA already in Korea, okay, 10 years ago. Yes, you see blood, right? In the world of what to measure in the future, do you think there's going to be more things to measure that are going to be related to health and markers of your health? Or do you think there will be less? More. Do you think there's going to be more technology and things, or there's going to be less? There's going to be more. So as a company, is it a radical change for us to change the kinds of things that we measure and get inputs from? Or is it just the natural evolution of what needs to happen? It's a natural evolution. And so the what to measure has always been there. It will always be there because it's really important. The next thing that we've been doing is we've been telling people what to take since 1980. And so the what to take, by the way, has also changed. The what to take back in 1980, and I don't know if that was Mark and his girlfriend and someone I think there's a story about that. I wasn't around, okay? But the what to take in 1980 looks different than the what to take today that we have, right? The what to take has evolved. By the way, the what to take in 1980, and I remember in 1991 when I signed up, it was pretty radical in the marketplace. The idea of taking a shake that was engineered food that had everything that your body needed in a meal, but much less calories and engineered in a way to make sure it's absorbed and it gets into the body and you had this optimized nutrition, it was pretty radical. When I started in France in 1991, like the typical breakfast in France would have been, probably a cigarette, an espresso and a croissant. It was a new thing. People didn't understand. Now, when they saw the results, everybody got it. And that's always been part of the magic of Herbalife. And so the what to take has evolved over time. Does the what to take and will it and should it continue to evolve? Right? By the way, 1980, I don't know how many protein shakes there were. There was probably a few. Slim Fast was probably one of them. Now we are the #1 protein shake sold in the world. The #1. Yeah. What if Mark had never even thought about protein shakes? What if it was just like supplements? And he was just like, take vitamins or take supplements or take herbs, but there was never a shake. Now, protein shakes in the world today, it's pretty common, right? But Herbalife was one of the first, right? Herbalife created and is the largest. And so also part of our legacy, the what to take will change. The what to do also has changed throughout the years. But we've always been telling people what to do. If you think about the what to do, by the way, 3, 2, 1. That's how we were taught. 3 times your tablet, 2 shakes a day, 1 normal meal. We used to say, eat whatever you want, just cut back. And the best part is you don't have to exercise. That was the pitch. That was it. If you were there in 1980 and even in 1990s, that's all it was. 2 shakes, 3 times your tablets, 1 normal meal. Eat what you want, cut back, and you don't have to exercise. That's the best part. Now, that's what we used to tell people what to do. Very different than today and how things evolved. By the way, we always told them you need to drink your water, 8 to 10 glasses a day, 1.5 liters, if you're in Europe, to 2. We would give different guidance. And then what happened over time is we also realized that protein and getting the right amount of protein was important. So it wasn't anymore, eat whatever you want, just cut back on the 3rd meal. It was like, oh, you need a certain amount of protein. So let's make sure you're getting your protein. Don't just have a shake, let's put some PDM, and that way you can get enough protein. And oh, by the way, you should really be snacking a couple times a day. You're doing it anyway. Instead of doing it with just normal food, let's get a protein snack in. So the what to do alongside of it, the products, it's been changing and evolving. And so the what to do also at a certain amount of time. Listen, there was a time before Herbalife 24. Where's Dr. John Heiss in the room? Is he in the room here? Okay, he's back here. Give him a hand, by the way. Change the company.
Put your hands up in the air. Put your hands up in the air. Put your hands up in the air. Put your hands up in the air.
Now, last year we announced some acquisitions, but John Heiss had a company before coming to Herbalife, had created his own product, sports nutrition product called Prolong, and he was really the first acquisition that Herbalife made. Did that change our company? The fact that we got John Heiss and he developed the 24 line, and Herbalife has never been the same. Yeah, you guys can give it up again for Dr. John. But what if Michael didn't have the vision? What if he was like, yeah, we're weight loss. We're going to stay weight loss. We don't need to do anything else. We're Herbalife. Let's just focus on weight loss. And he never had the vision to say, you know what? Here's a guy doing something, sports nutrition performance. This could be a big thing for us. And Michael's belief was you shouldn't not exercise. Michael's belief was you should exercise. And then guess what happens? Had the vision, made the acquisition, brought in John Heiss, developed the sports nutrition line, Herbalife 24, and then all of a sudden, Herbalife, through the time, became a healthy, active lifestyle company. And now we are recognized as the #1 lifestyle and nutrition, healthy, active lifestyle and nutrition brand, right? So think about all of these things that shaped Herbalife today, but they also could have never been. Do you get it? Decisions can change the trajectory of a company. And so, thank goodness, with Michael's vision also for getting on the shirts and getting into the sports and doing that some distributors were really inspired. And healthy, active lifestyle. And all of a sudden, we used to tell people in the 80s and 90s, you don't have to exercise. All of a sudden, it was, you should really be doing some exercise and come down and do it with us. And we're going to take care of not only giving you the right things to take, but we're also going to help you do things. Exercise, get active. Some people built models off of it. And so if you look at the what to do, it really is the DMOs and the way people go about getting customers and building businesses and duplicating and getting distributors. And there's been so many DMOs in the what to do, okay? So I share this with you because it's really important, because do you think as this room of entrepreneurs, the top leaders in the world, is there a pretty good chance that you're gonna figure out more things of how to go to market and more ways of talking to people and bringing more value? It's gonna happen. And by the way, there's some up here, and there's a lot that's not up here through time. The total plan came, right? So there was how many of you remember the total plan, right? That was a way of, by the way, the total plan changed the way we looked at referrals. I mean, we always had referrals, but we never had a system that was so clear on, hey, this is a way for us to get referrals. And there's a lot of things that came. When I just saw, by the way, Mark and Jill Addy over here, who started really this whole healthy, active lifestyle movement. Give them a hand over here. What if they had never done the beach workouts? Now, by the way, someone else might have figured out something somewhere along the way, but you see, some of the ideas come from the company, some of the ideas come from the distributors, and all of a sudden, here's this legacy and this business that shapes and forms the future of where we're going. And so, wellness evaluations and weight loss challenges are, how many of you do challenges in your business today? It's part of what you do. Look around. Okay, nutrition clubs, challenges. How many of you work with marathons? Look around the room, right? So there's always this innovation in terms of the ways people go to market and the what to do when customers want a result. The what to do got created for that. The what to do is very simple in the beginning, right? Use where talk to people. There was always DMOs. There were always things that were happening, but the amount of DMOs, breakfast budget clubs in the UK, Dan and Claire, who you saw, by the way, give them a hand for opening up, right, this morning and hosting. So there's always this evolution. And the who to do it with, it's the distributors. The who to do it with is the magic of Herbalife. The who to do it with is the 8.6 billion in retail sales, suggested retail sales that happen, and all of the history is through distributors. And so it's really important to understand that for the company, and by the way, I say this because I was a distributor, right? Not just because, because it's always been that Herbalife, that we don't exist as a company without distributors. And yes, there's a relationship that it's vice versa. You depend on the company depends on you, and this is the relationship. Now, one of the most amazing things is when we put all of our best efforts forward, when we work together, when we can support each other, it's amazing what can happen. And so I want to share with you something because where we're going in the future, and by the way, it's really interesting because we talked about these 4 things. We've always measured. We talked about, we've always told people what to take, and it changed over time. We talked about, we told them what to do, which is the way and the things that they can do, and the who to do it with, the distributors, and how they do it. So some of you bring people into a nutrition club, some of you have fit camps, challenges, all of that. And last year when we came, by the way, how many of you were super excited when all of a sudden you saw your company talking about protocol, a digital platform, and something that could connect all of these things, that all of a sudden your vision expanded and you were like, of course we need a digital platform. No one banks today without a digital connection. No one orders food or a ride without a digital connection. No one buys things without a digital connection. When you want to buy something, do you go home and get online on your laptop to buy, or do you just use your phone and you just buy, right? So how many of you got excited last year when we talked about protocol? Yeah. Because it made sense for you. How many of you got excited last year when we talked about Link Bioscience and this opportunity to actually formulate supplements for an individual and not have only supplements that were amazing in formulation, but were actually formulated for many? This idea of formulating for one person, for you, each individual, you guys got excited about. Okay, very good. So last year, we started to show this, and it looks different, but break it down. The what to measure is on the outside. These are the inputs. Now, some of these are in the future, some of these we might never have, but the reality is that there's a lot of different inputs now that come in to know how healthy you are, to know what you should be doing, actually, because the inner circle is the what to do. And if you look at this, you've got nutrition, you have supplementation. Now, by the way, it's small circle, so not a lot of words in there. But think of all of the Herbalife products. Whatever inputs you in, let me tell you what to use. We have always been, by the way, and you're going to hear about this tomorrow, we have always been the personalization company. Always. In 1980, when someone came down, Susan, I'm pretty sure that you would be asking them, tell me about how you eat, and tell me what your goals are, and let's measure you, and let me tell you how you should take the products. Let me tell you which products you should take. That's called personalization. That's the difference of having someone to help them personalize and all of the other aspects that we do. Herbalife has always been the personalization company. Tomorrow, you're going to hear about how no matter what market you're in, that we are going to go deeper in personalization. The ultimate personalization is in personally formulated supplements. But it's not everything, because personally formulated supplements, they don't take and cannot be everything. So what we're going to do is we are going to talk a little bit about the acquisitions that we made, and it's kind of important. Last year, we announced, by the way, how many of you got excited when we talked about measuring and doing some blood measurement? I know Susan got excited. She got so excited, she's like, do it to me. She's like, I'll do it. Painless. You got excited about it. Why did you get excited about it? Because it shows that your company is moving in a direction where you already feel the world is moving and where technology is moving. And so the acquisitions that we made last year were acquisitions that were putting us in a direction we believe of where we need to go in the future so we can be different and do it in the Herbalife way that no other company can do it. And I want to talk a little bit about this because I think it's important. Did you see in the video that Mark said the most important thing is to talk to 10 people? Now let's be honest here in the room. How many of you are talking to 10 people a day? A few of you. That was like 5, okay, out of the whole room. Do you know what our goal as a company is? That you are so excited that you will go out and talk to 10 people. Because here's what I can tell you. If you go out and talk to 10 people and you're that excited, it means that what you're going out to talk to them about is so exciting that you're excited about it. And you know also that they're going to be excited about it. And this is why personally formulated supplements are so important. I'm going to give you the pitch because it's an amazingly strong pitch, and it will and it can and will change everything. If I look at anybody and I say, hey, Leon, are you taking supplements? You do. Okay. Are any of the supplements personally formulated just for you? Not yet? Good answer. Okay. What kind of supplements are you taking? 100 different supplements. Okay. 100 different supplements? You must be an Herbalife distributor. There's no other company. But the average person would say, yeah, I take supplements. And then when you can ask them, are any of them personally formulated for you? What will they say? No. They might say, what do you mean? Because they don't even understand what that means, personally formulated. What I mean, Leon, is all of those 100 supplements that you're taking, they're probably supplements that are like in a bottle, and there's different ingredients, and you probably bought them for different reasons. You know, your doctor said maybe you should take this, a friend said that, you researched something, on your Instagram something showed up, you like bought the supplements. But none of them were actually formulated just for you. They're the same things other people can buy, right? So if you think of your vitamins and minerals and some of these like core fundamental things that are important for the body, do you think that it would be better to have one that's formulated just for you, or the same one that a lot of other people are taking?
I would love to.
You would love to have something just for you. And then do you think that that formulation, you should have the same formulation this year and then next year and then next year and the next year? Or do you think the formulation as you change, I know you're not getting any older, but as you reach goals and even what other things that you're taking, like that the formulation ideally should change on a monthly or every few months, that it should change with you as you change. Okay, I like it. But by the way, how many of you could do that and talk to 10 people? And let me ask you, how many of you, if you talk to 10 people, you think that a lot of them would actually be interested in listening to you? Because it's something they've never heard of. Because it's something that's different. It's something that they know supplements, they know protein shakes, they know everything. Your distributors to go talk to more people that come into the company, start and to have momentum and to grow a business. So it's simple, but we believe this is part of the future. It's the reason why we made the acquisitions last year. It is also the reason, by the way, how many of you saw the news recently that Cristiano Ronaldo invested $7.5 million, into Herbalife, not us paying Cristiano Ronaldo, right? But Cristiano Ronaldo investing his money to be a part of Herbalife. Why? Because he believes in what we're doing and wants to be a part of it. You guys can clap for that. Now, here's what I can tell you, by the way. Let's go to the next slide. Not only does he believe in what we're doing, but it is the Herbalife way is his way. You have to understand this. Who do you think probably one of the most tested athletes is in the world? Yeah, Ronaldo. Who do you think pays more attention to getting exactly the nutrition and all the supplementation personally formulated for him that he needs? It's Cristiano. So the what to measure, that's what we do. That's his core fundamental belief. The what to do, what to take, the personalization, the personally formulated, that's his belief. The what to do, who do you think pays more attention to working out, to sleeping, to recovering, to every aspect to perform at the highest level? It's Cristiano. The who to do it with, who do you think understands the value of having people around you? Doctors, scientists, coaches, family, support, friends, community. Do you think that those four things are part of the reason why Cristiano is, without a doubt, one of the highest performing athletes in the world, even at 41 years old, that has him playing still at that level? Do you think those four things are the things that he believes in and lives and has lived his entire career? And the answer is yes. And that is why he believes in Herbalife. That is why he believes in what we're doing and where we are going into the future. And so this alignment, by the way, and when you have 1 billion followers and you make a post and you've got 60 million people that like it, do you think that's a good thing for Herbalife? Yeah, it's a pretty good thing, right? So his passion, by the way, has always been there. And he's not only, by the way, he's invested in some other companies. He invested in Whoop. Why? What does Whoop do? Measures. Okay. He's invested into some other companies that are recovery because the what to do part is important for him. And something happened about 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, that quite honestly was not so nice. Because Cristiano had been with us and has been with us for over a decade, and he loves Herbalife. He came to Herbalife because of his family. He came to Herbalife because he loves the products. And when we saw this a few years ago, it was kind of like not a good thing. And so how many of you remember this post that a few years ago, especially if you were in Europe probably, where you saw Cristiano and he had invested into this company called Bionic. And this company called Bionic, by the way, was already doing personally formulated supplements. So they were like a really early adopter, amazing vision. And this caused a little bit of an issue for us. It was like, wait a minute, Cristiano, he's our guy. Like he's been with us for a long time. Herbalife nutrition, right? Herbalife products, and now he's investing. So we weren't very happy about it, to be honest with you. And, we reached out to his team and we're like, guys, look, you cannot have this. And they're like, but wait a minute, he's an investor. He's not like promoting, he just invested. And we're like, okay, look, we got it. We understand he's excited about it and he likes it enough to invest in it. Okay, now he's investing our money, we pay him, and then he puts the money there. That's not like, we don't like that. Okay, and especially we don't like our distributors seeing him with another company doing something in our space. So like we had to get a little bit tough with them. And so they're like, okay, we understand, but Cristiano, he's really excited about this. And we're like, tough, like he's with us. Like he can't go do that other stuff. And so that was a few years ago. And about 6-7 months ago, I received a call because now we kind of have established a relationship and plans and the plan to invest into Herbalife. And it's from Cristiano's home office. And they're like, listen, we need to talk. Cristiano is so passionate about this thing called Bionic, and he really wants to do something with this. And we're like, tough. Like, we don't know what to tell you. By the way, they're doing personally formulated supplements, different. We have Link Bioscience. We have a vision for personally formulated. We're like, this is competition. We're like, tough. If he wants to invest more, great. You just can't say anything about it. And so when I received the call, they're like, listen, he really wants to do something. And Bionic is too small to buy Herbalife for now. They said it was kind of like for now. And I'm like, okay. But Herbalife might be big enough to buy Bionic. And I said, okay. Oh, you guys are smart. You guys are smart. I like it. I said, okay, we can have a conversation. And we met some of the executive team with the founder of Bionic. And the minute we heard the vision and the passion, we said, you know what? There could be something here. Because with Link Bioscience, we need to build the machines to take it around the world. It's going to take time to do that. And what we saw is a possibility of bringing personally formulated nutrition around the world much quickly because you don't need the machinery. The other thing is that this format would allow us to do it faster into more markets around the world, but also ultimately would be less expensive of a product than the product that we are going to bring around the world with Link. So we are announcing today that Herbalife is acquiring Bionic. Yes. And to show you, if you don't know what it is, have a look at the video and learn a little bit about Bionic. Okay. Now, I know. Like, what does this mean?
They're a direct-to-consumer company. The products are different. What is it going to look like? You're going to hear more tomorrow about how Bionic got started, how this is going to fit into our product line, how things are going to go for us. But before we do that, and tomorrow you're going to have a chance to hear from them, I don't know where they're sitting, but we've got the founder of Bionic, actually co-founder, the Bionic team. Where are they? Give them a hand. Stand up. Give them a hand. Welcome the Bionic team. Okay. But I want wonderful, Jonathan. All right. Sounds new? How many of you are excited about getting personally formulated faster to your markets? Yeah. I know that's one of the big questions. When? When are we going to get it? When can we have it? How is it going to go? What if I were to tell you that in Europe, are there any Europeans here, by the way? Okay. I can't hear. Is there some Europeans here? Some Europeans here? Okay, all right. Well, what if we were to say that this summer you would have personally formulated in some of your markets there, but very quickly, would you get excited if you could have this in summer? You think this could be something that could be? Now, do we have any Americans here? Yeah? What if we said by summer extravaganza, you guys were going to have Bionic, personally formulated supplements? Yes? And I know the rest of you are like, but what about us? When? Here's what I'll tell you. Like everything in Herbalife, we say 2 weeks and it takes a little bit longer, okay? But this is something that we will be able to, much faster than we had planned, to bring personally formulated supplementation around the world. Okay, so it is going to give us an opportunity to move with speed. It's going to give us an opportunity to also come in at a price point. And the thing to understand that this is not a replacement for the rest of the Herbalife products. It is not a replacement. The personally formulated, and having each and every one of you your personally formulated vitamin and mineral supplement with different factors in it, it is just part. You can't lose 30 pounds on a vitamin and mineral supplement. You can't. You still need your shakes, right? You still need to have all of your macros. You still need the Herbalife products. If you want to, perform and work out and build muscle, you still need your Herbalife products, but this is going to do something that is going to allow us to differentiate ourselves from every other company. And I want you to imagine in the future, okay, just from a vision standpoint, this is not a now thing, but from the future. Imagine that you could say to someone, and I know you're all using the Herbalife products here, but let me just pretend. Susan, pretend for a minute you don't use Herbalife. And I meet you and I'm like, hi, Susan. I don't know. What's your name, Susan? Okay. Do you use supplements? And they're not Herbalife supplements. No, of course you use supplements. You can say, yeah, you can say. How many? From the drugstore, you get that. And how many supplements do you use, by the way?
I take a vitamin and mineral.
Just one? Pretend you... Four or five, okay. And then how did you come up with those? Like, did someone recommend it? You found it online? You did some research? On the phone, right? So Susan, what would happen if you could take a photo of the ingredients of all 4 of those products or 5 of those products that you're not using, or that you're using but are not from Herbalife, and then you could actually kind of choose why you're taking them, like I want for my heart, this one's for my strong bones, this one's for energy, and that these are other products besides Herbalife products. And then we'll measure some things, right? Like some inputs and some of your goals. And then we'll come up with the formulation just for you. And it might be just a bionic personally formulated supplement, but most likely it could be a bionic personally formulated supplement, but also with extra cal, because you said bones, also with this other product, right? Because you said that. And actually, one of the things that we do that no company does is we look at everything you're taking, and what you're taking besides the personally formulated, it all gets introduced into the system, and it changes your personally formulated. So not only is it just formulating something for you, which is already amazing, but it takes into consideration everything else you're using, so that personal formulation piece changes so you get everything that you need and not too much of some other things because you're taking all these different things.
We didn't need all the other things.
Well, you might need 2 of them, but maybe not all 4, right? Can you guys see a vision in the future where, because of the capacity to personally formulate with the rest of the information, that now you can have something called complete that really is personalized for you? But you can only do it if you have the personally formulated piece that can then react to the other things to come up with your individual formula. And if you decide to buy another Herbalife product, and now that's in your daily, guess what happens? The personally formulated changes a little bit, because some of the things that are in that supplement don't need to be as much in that supplement. How many of you like the idea of being able to say that Herbalife is the only company like in the world that can actually look at what you're taking and personally formulate so you're getting everything that you need and not too much that you don't need? So we are super excited about this. Tomorrow you're going to hear more about how everything fits together. By the way, is this new? Yes. Has Herbalife always done new? Yes. Have we always figured out how to make ourselves different to create the best opportunity so when you go talk to people, they have a reason to come to us because of what we offer? Yes. So this is the beginning of a journey. And we haven't even spoken about the testing part of it, because there's even more things and exciting things that are going to add so much value to your business. But how many of you are starting to see a future and a vision of having a business where talking to 10 people a day is not hard? It's something you want to do because you have something to offer them that they've never heard of that makes Herbalife look like it's the only place they should be spending their time. Yeah? Very good. All right. So, Herbalife, Bionic, we're excited. The Bionic team is excited. Cristiano now, of course, is even more excited. So not only was he already excited to talk about protocol and Herbalife and some of the things he's going to be doing in the future that you don't know yet, you know, when you've got 1 billion people on the planet, pretty exciting. But as you know, he is right now training for the World Cup, playing for his team, going for his 1,000 goals, very busy. He couldn't be here. I don't know at what point we get him here, probably once he stopped playing, okay, and is no longer, you know, playing as much football. He's got a little bit more time, but he did want to send a little message to us. So have a look at a little message from Cristiano.
It was a fantastic honor to be part of the family of Herbalife.
Hi, Herbalife family. We are here again. Big surprises to announce this year with my partner and friend, Stephan. Bionic and Protocol, amazing. This is the future of personal wellness.
The next era begins.
All right. So it might be a nice thing to have someone that's really super excited about Herbalife, about personalized nutrition, about our future as a partner that is going to go down this road and let the world know about what's happening with Herbalife. And so this is just the beginning. And it's just one piece. You're welcome. Here's another thing, and I want you to look at this, because if you look at this, the company's responsibility, and this is all about business. So let's put up the next slide, the last slide. Before we go to, so the compounding growth model, if we can put that up. This is very important for each and every one of your businesses. We just said, if you go out and talk to 10 people and you give a pitch that I just gave, that you would attract a lot of people. The company's responsibility and everything that we do every single day is thinking about how can we create products and opportunities so you can go out and talk to people and attract them into your business. So number one, the company, I just want you to know, we see our role and responsibilities to make sure we've got exciting things for you that you can go to market and get as many people coming. So how many of you believe if you attract more, that you're going to end up getting more business? Like if you can talk to 10 today and you get 2, and you talk to 10 tomorrow and you get 5 out of 2 that are interested, it's good for business, right? Talking and attracting is not enough. You actually need to be able to sell them something, right? Now, by the way, I know that some of you, like, can Herbalife improve to give you better tools and better technology to be able to buy easier and not have it be so complicated and have it work the best that it can? How many of you that it's important, that you believe that if we do that for you, that this is going to help you not only to attract people, but actually to sell to people and sign up people? Okay, so here's what you have to know. We know that technology, again, may not have always been our strength, but we know for the business that we want to have and will have in the future that we're going to have to get better at technology. And you have my word. We are committed to it as a company. It may not happen overnight. There may be some ups and downs, but there's no way that we don't get to a place to help each and every one of you to be able to do better and the things that are very necessary to be able to grow your business. So if you can actually get more people to buy from you, is it better for your business? Yes, right? More people attracted to what you have, more people actually buying, better. So if you convert higher percentages, better. Through technology, through the offer, through the process, better. Keeping more people. If we can help you keep more people, whether it's through a loyalty program, whether it's through having something that no one else has and they have no reason to go anywhere else, if we take on that responsibility because it's a focus and we help you to keep more people so they stay longer with you and buy more with you over time, does it help you grow a business? And the answer is yes, okay? If we help you to have them refer people to you, because if they like you, if they like the company, if they like the products, if they like the experience, are they going to talk to other people about it and refer more people? Is that good for your business? That instead of having, 1 out of every 5 customers refer someone to you, what if it was 1 out of every 3 customers refer someone to you, right? It's better. So if not only the people that are your customers say, you know what, this Herbalife thing, I think I can do this. Like, I love the products. I love having this opportunity to have something that I can't get anywhere else. And I think everybody should know about this. And actually, I think I can do this business because the tools are in place, because the offer and how different we are and what we offer to people, they feel excited about and excited to talk to people. And they join you more than they're joining you today. And for the new person that isn't even a customer, when you say we have this opportunity and you know they're going to be interested, can you recruit more people? And if we've got better systems, training systems, tools and technology and better products and more of an offer that's differentiated and so much value, and a system that can actually help people to come in and duplicate and grow and build, can it help you to build a bigger business? And so you see there's a compounding effect here that if you attract more, you sell to more, or you sign up more people, you keep them longer, they bring even more people, right? And then you can keep and train and develop and duplicate. There's no way you don't create growth with that. And so as a company, this is what we think about 24/7 and all of the aspects. It's the products, the offer, the pricing, the differentiation, the tools, the technology, all of the aspects together. And so as a company, we are focused on this. But let me ask you a question. Are there things that you can do to find out how to attract more people without the company, with what you have today? Can you come up with a better way to talk to people to actually attract more than you've ever attracted before? Is it possible? How does it typically happen in Herbalife? Well, some of you, what ends up happening is you come to a meeting like this and you hear some speakers on stage and you hear what they're doing, and then you're like, that's kind of cool. Well, why don't I go try to do that? And then we call those DMOs. And then you find something that's attracting people maybe more than your DMO's doing, and you start to learn it and implement it and do it with your teams, right? How do you convert? Same thing. You go through the process. You see what's working in the marketplace. You actually pick up what's working, and you learn that way. But did you know there's also this thing called AI? How many of you are using AI in your businesses today? Do you know that you could use AI today and you could actually say, here's my business model, here's what I do, I want to go attract more people, tell me how to attract more people. Do you know you could do that? And do you know what AI would tell you? It'd tell you how to do it, right? So you've got a world of knowledge at the fingertips to be able to learn how to attract more. And if you said, hey, here's my situation, I've attracted all of these people, but you know what? They're interested, but I need to know how to get them as customers, like how to sell, how to make the sale. Do you think AI, you could actually learn something and actually figure out with the help of AI how to actually sell to more people? Not just interest them, but sell to them? Do you think you could learn how to actually keep them and say, hey, listen, I'd like to give me all of the ways in the world of every company that's ever done anything in our industry, out of our industry, of how they keep customers. Give me the master class lesson from the world's knowledge base. Do you think you could learn a thing or two about retaining? And you could say also, hey, I'd love to know how to get my customers to bring me more customers. Do you think that the world of knowledge might have a little bit of information of what you could do actually to get people to refer people to you? You think so? I think so. Look, there's no reason with who we are and our legacy and what we're doing to not be personally in your business, in your market, no matter what, in your model, growing today. And so we believe, like you believe, we believe that AI is probably the most powerful thing that in modern time has come, and we believe it's going to change, if not everything, a lot of things. And we believe as a company that it's so important that we actually took some steps that are pretty interesting. And it's kind of an interesting story because distributor 32 and a half years, then becoming an executive, you have to think a little bit differently because it's no longer, and it was no longer about my business, it was about everybody's business. It was no longer about my markets and my people, it was everybody. The entire world of Herbalife and what Herbalife needs as a company, what we need to do, but also what we need to make sure that we're delivering to distributors. And so as AI, it became very clear and evident that there was just this need to understand as a leader myself, responsible for each and every one of you and each and every one of your markets, and responsible for all of our employees and our shareholders to have Herbalife be a company that moves forward and leverages AI and not one that's left behind because we didn't do the right things at the right time. So I decided to go on a personal journey. And of course, what do I do? A lot of times I either go to, the podcasts, or I'll go to a book or an audio book. And I don't remember who it was, but I probably either, found it myself or someone referred, but I ended up reading this book called The AI-Driven Leader. And when I read the book, it changed the way that I thought about it. Because when it said AI-driven leader, it wasn't about the technology, it was about the person. And interesting how things go, but I was reading the book, and then I was talking to Blake about it, and Blake's like, I think this is the guy, this author, is the guy that one of my friends is kind of working with to see if there's something that they can do together in the area of AI. And I'm like, really? I'm like, is there a chance that I can, you can connect us? And then a couple of weeks later, we have a shared calendar where we see where the executives are going. I see that our chief marketing officer, Hanan, is going to a weekend event with the same author to go learn about AI. And so I'm like, listen, this is too many signs, too many signals. Like, I got to connect with this guy. And we end up speaking together, and he comes into the company and he spends a day with us. And it absolutely changed the way that we saw the world of AI and what was possible for us as a company. And it was such an impactful meeting. A couple of things happened. One is that we really liked each other. He loved Herbalife. I mean, he saw the vision, the mission. We explained what we wanted to do. We explained about becoming the world's health and wellness company, community, and platform. We explained about the distributors and having all of these 2 million entrepreneurs all across the world. And we just started talking about the kind of impact that we could make as a company if we really leveraged the moment and developed together. And I'll be honest with you, I think he's fallen in love with Herbalife. I think that, like most people do, when they get around us and they get to know us and they get to know the distributors and the company and the executives and the history and the vision. And this is not just him coming here today, by the way, and speaking. This is us in a long-term partnership working together so that we can build the systems and the training to be able to do things that no other company has ever done in the history of time. No one has a company like ours. No one has the 2 million distributors, the tens of millions of customers, the 95 markets, the 60,000 plus nutrition clubs around the world. We're the only company that was ever able to do that. You have to understand, there's a lot of direct selling companies. There's a lot of nutrition supplement companies. There's a lot of different companies. No one has ever been able to do what we've been able to do. I want to share with you that I was probably about 3 weeks ago at an event in California, and this event was called Abundance 360. And there's someone, his name is Peter Diamandis. I met him about 15 years ago, and I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but he created this vision for something called X Prize. And if you've ever heard of X Prize, basically what he did is he said, you know what? I want to improve humanity, the lives of humanity. I want to make this a better place on the planet. I want to, for us to do all of these different things and to really move forward with technology and everything in terms of anything that can make an improvement. He created the first X Prize, which was the first company that could actually get into space and actually not have everything that's used to get into space destroyed. And because he said, we're going to create a prize, the first company that can actually go into space and come back and have it be reusable, we're going to give them, I forget what the amount was, but $10 million or something like that. And guess what ended up happening? a lot of companies started to say, we are going to go look at how we can do that. And he forwarded the timeline where a lot of companies never would have gone for it because of that. He also has a prize for cleaning up the oceans. He also has a prize for clean energy. He also has a prize for education and educating underserved countries and communities. He also has a prize for bringing clean water around the world. So Peter Diamandis is a futurist. He's someone that cares incredibly about the planet. And he started that because he wanted to forward humanity in the way entrepreneurs and businesses look at doing things to improve the planet and the quality of life. So this was a 3-4 day summit, and the first day was all about AI. The second day was all about technologies and science and medicine, and the third day was all about longevity. And then the fourth day, so it was all of these speakers. Elon Musk came on the third day, okay? And you had all of these companies, and there was incredible things happening with AI and technology and science and physics and energy and like all of these companies in this community coming together. And I sat there in the room listening to all of these incredible innovations, and I thought about Herbalife. Because all of these companies are coming up with products and services to serve people, but none of them have 2 million people that can take something to the world. None of them have the amount of people in the network that we have to be able to make the impact that we have. And so I felt very lucky to be in that room. By the way, I hadn't seen Peter for 15 years, and backstage, number one, I congratulated him because when he had said that he was starting it, I had no idea what it would become. And then when he asked, what are you up to? Guess what I said? I said, Peter, do you take supplements? And he's like, I take 86 different supplements. And he says, if there was only a way that I could know exactly what the minimum amount I should be taking is. Think about this. The guy's taking 86 supplements. He's like, but I'd rather know just the minimum amount. And I'm like, well, Peter, what if we could do one better? What if we could actually look at all of the supplements you're taking, and then you tell us why you're taking them, and then we put some data in, your biometric data, that we could actually formulate for you a supplement and then tell you which one's, the minimum you have to take. And he says, if you can do that, next year you need to be on stage telling everybody in this room. So, if Peter Diamandis believes that this is something that could be so valuable that some of the greatest companies and people that are doing some of the most amazing things in technology and science and AI, it's interesting for them, let me tell you something. This is interesting for billions of people on the planet. And so this is our company. This is our future. And what we're about to do now is bring something that's different. We are going to talk about how the world is changing. We are going to talk about AI. I'm going to introduce you to the person that, whatever way he came to us, and I believe that when you've got a mission, and if it's honorable, and if it's good for humanity, that the universe will align and it will open doors for you, and it will put people in your pathway, and that there are people that will change the direction